everybody, and today is the day Zack Snyder's Justice League is out. I watched this thing, I consumed it. A lot to sort of process at the moment. This is just gonna be kind of my raw thoughts off the cuff here. Nothing scripted, just kind of my general thoughts on the movie. This is spoiler free. I'm not gonna get into any of that. Probably do something this weekend, like a live stream, spoiler chat live stream, which will be fun. But anyway, this movie, oh my god, dude, there's just so much to talk about. I absolutely loved it. Now, I don't even want to really get into the semantics of whether it's better than Batman v Superman or anything like that. But this is in my top 3 of that trilogy here. I need to watch it a few more times to see if it, surpasses those two. But anyway, this movie is just epic on every level. It's bizarre to me that I'm even able to say that I watched this movie. Us fans of Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, and we've been waiting so long for a sequel, a proper sequel to Batman v Superman. The whole 2017 theatrical debacle. I don't even really want to get into that. I don't even want to do the comparison. I'll just say that there's so many differences in this movie, and even the similar stuff that's in this movie, kind of the core plot. With the team getting together, like Bruce and Diana recruiting the other members, like the Flash and Cyborg, that's still in there. But even similar shots than the theatrical, they're a different shot of different dialogue, and you can tell that they probably had to go with a studio note with that take and that take, and there's not the line where Batman tells Arthur, "I hear you can talk to fish." That's not in the movie. There's just stuff like that all throughout this film, that there's just so many differences, and just the scale of this movie when you compare it to, the theatrical cut, it's night and day. It's totally night and day. Now the characters in this movie, Cyborg, this is like Cyborg's movie in a way. When Zack says Cyborg's the heart of the movie, he totally was not kidding. He's straight up in the forefront of this movie, and just the story with his mom and his dad, and all the backstory stuff, and just the way sort of the more they get into the apocalyptic technology, being integrated with him, all that stuff, there's just more and more of that. And I just absolutely loved it. I did expect there to be a little bit more with his mom. But I'm totally satisfied with, the relationship that they showed in the movie and all of that. I just thought there'd be a little bit more of the actress in the film. Now, the Flash, man, not a ton of more scenes with the Flash, but you do get that Iris West interaction, all the hot dog stuff, and her being ejected out of the car, him saving her, having to watch the scene with Barry and his dad in the prison, that sequence. Now knowing that Billy Crudup isn't going to be in the Flash movie, man, it really breaks my heart, man, especially with that scene in this movie. It kind of really makes me sad now knowing that we're not going to see Billy Crudup and sort of a continuation of that relationship on screen. Now, as far as Wonder Woman, a lot more good stuff with her. There's more of a connection, I'd say, with the Amazons and Hippolyta, and just even the way sort of kind of getting into, not necessarily getting into the history lesson, but the way sort of Diana learns of all this stuff. It's so interesting and well played out. Just the dialogue and just the whole plot of this movie is way more interesting and intricate, I guess. The whole theatrical version is just stripped down to, I guess, the bare bones of what they could and changed every aspect that they could. But I don't know, just the action with Wonder Woman and, sort of the whole heist, or I guess bombing sequence in London, like that's just totally differently played out. And just the stuff with the Amazons, like when Steppenwolf's trying to get that mother box on Themyscira, like that whole sequence, that was one of my favorite sequences from this whole movie. And it's so epic on every level. And, just the stuff that was cut out, and, it's just mind blowing how much of a different movie this is. And, just the action, the scope, it's just mind blowing. And I can't believe I've watched it. Batman is absolutely awesome in this movie. He gets some incredible action sequences, and like you really feel that sort of like burden or guilt that he feels from like the death of Superman in this movie. And you really kind of get that feeling that like, I guess that like, he owes it to Superman to like form this team to sort of like protect Earth with this like attack coming. That's much more clearly sort of put on screen than what we saw in that debacle in 2017. But there's also some really interesting sort of dynamics between Bruce and Diana, and that was hinted in the theatrical version, but it's I don't know, there's just like some subtle moments where it's just those two in like the Wayne hangar. And I don't know, just little things like that, man. Just little things like that. And just like, Bruce and Alfred in this movie, there's so much more of that. Not as much Jim Gordon, Commissioner Gordon in this movie that I thought. I thought there'd be a little bit more. Guess not. So we got what we got. I'm happy with it. But I did expect, maybe like one more scene with J.K. Simmons as like Commissioner Gordon. But it is what it is. Now Superman, oh my God, just having a movie where he doesn't have a fucking CGI upper lip, dude, that's all I could ask for with this movie. You know what I mean? like, it's totally awesome to not see that guy, yes, ma'am, with that totally demon face that he had in that theatrical cut. But yeah, it's beyond, I don't know, just the feeling of seeing all of this stuff on screen and seeing, the stuff with Superman and Batman and, Aquaman. It's mind blowing, man. It's mind blowing. It's just so much to process. And like, Aquaman, he doesn't have a ton of like extra stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's different, but like, there's not a ton of like backstory stuff. You obviously have like Volko and Mera in this. Gives you more context on kind of like his attitude and sort of like, I guess, being jaded against society, like whether it's, people on land or in Atlantis. He's kind of just this guy in between, stuck in between, and doesn't really know who to trust, really. But it's just hard to believe that I watched this thing. And, the third act of this movie, and even the middle of the movie, like the stuff, I guess under the harbor when they, fight Steppenwolf, there was that in the theatrical version. It's totally different. Like, yeah, there's the similar aspects about it, but like, there's just so much that was left on the cutting room floor. And, like, this movie is just incredible on every level. The dialogue, the action, the visuals, it just has that kind of like mythic kind of painterly quality to it that Zack just crushes in these DC movies. Going back to like 300. And then you get into like the villains with like Kieran Hines as Steppenwolf and Ray Porter as Darkseid, and I think it's Peter Guinness as Desaad. Like, those guys just absolutely crushed it in this movie. Their vocals are just, they have these like guttural vocals, like just these gravelly ass vocals, and they just are intimidating to hell, man. The visuals, like the CGI with Steppenwolf, just looks incredible, man. It looks incredible. You know, it's a night and day comparison to Steppenwolf in the previous iteration. You know, that was like a World of Warcraft design, and this is like next level, I guess, CGI for like movies and stuff. Just the intricacy in his armor, where it's just like moving up and down, and you know, it's like lifelike. It's just awesome. And you know, I guess the dynamic between Steppenwolf and Desaad and Darkseid, it's it's awesome, man. It's awesome. And there's way more Darkseid in this movie than I thought there would be. You know, I thought there'd be a little bit kind of like sprinkled throughout, but like I was pleasantly surprised with what we got as far as Darkseid in this movie. You know, the nightmare stuff, I don't want to get into that, but I loved every aspect of it. You know, just I guess even like the Batman and Joker stuff, it's incredible. You know, stuff I didn't think we'd ever get to see. Zack delivered. He knew the fans wanted to see us or see those characters on screen. We got it. I think you guys will be happy with it. But anyway, guys, I absolutely loved this movie. You know, I'm not quite ready to sort of let you know like where it ranks in terms of like whether it's better than Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition or Man of Steel. You know, I need to let it sit with me for a while. You know, I only watched it one time, but I loved the movie. You know, it's hard to even believe that I watched this thing, that we can, you know, go in our living rooms and turn on this 4-hour epic, incredible comic book movie. You know, it's just hard to process. Like every little thing in this movie, there's so much attention to detail, and you know, I don't know. It's a lot to process, man. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on this movie. What were some of your favorite parts? Spoiler free, please. Spoiler free. You know, don't get into too much stuff, but you know, just give me your kind of general sort of reaction to the movie, and restore the Snyderverse. We got to get on that, guys. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse. We want to see this story fulfilled all the way to the end. Justice League 2 and 3. We want to see Zack finish his vision. But like I said, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Subscribe for more videos. Hit that like button. I'm Rex Overdrive. I'll see you next time.